There is an article today in USA Today that I think I'm going to discuss because it's on my mind more than probably anything else we're talking about, except maybe the Christmas situation and people overspending. I came across this early this morning when I was doing my show prep because I pretty much had a couple of other things planned, but this article has really kind of stirred my emotions, if you will, and I think it's worth discussing. So in USA today, a study recently came out that says 18% of Americans doubt they'll ever get out of debt. 18% of Americans say they will never get out of debt. 43% of those with debt expect to remain in debt at age 61 or later. That's almost half the population. 43% believe they'll be in debt beyond age 61. This survey was conducted by creditcards.com. Go figure. A credit card company asking people about how they feel about debt. Wonder why that's happening, because that's good news to a credit card company. Credit card companies want to keep you in debt and keep you in debt and keep you in debt. Remember, folks, the borrower is slave to the lender. And if a credit card company can keep you in debt, they've got you. They've got themselves a stream of income for life if you can't get yourself out of credit card debt. So the article goes on to say that the statistics get more depressing for older Americans. Of those age 61 or older with debt, 31% say they will never get out from under it. The survey includes mortgage debt as well as credit card debt. Wait, I got to repeat this. Of people age 61 or older with debt, 31% of them, almost a third of Americans who are 61 or older, say they will never get out from under their mortgage debt or their credit card debt. What are they thinking? Brian, I'd like to get your take on this. Tell me something, bud. You there? You on? Brian, 31%, almost a third of people over age 61 don't believe they'll ever get out of debt. What do you think about that?
Well,
tell me, am I just off my rocker thinking that's ludicrous? Tell me.
It comes to a point where you've dug yourselves in such a deep hole.
Yeah.
That it's just hopeless.
But
you can't dig yourself out of something that you just continuously dug deeper and deeper and deeper over a certain amount of years.
But in our country, anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, folks, anything is possible in our country. There is nothing that cannot be overcome. There is no station in life you cannot rise from. I mean, we have more opportunities here than anywhere else in the world. Don't get me wrong, we have our problems. I'm not looking at America through rose-colored glasses. But for the most part, we are the most fortunate, blessed country ever in the existence of the world. And people are hopeless because they have debt.
Well, I can only speak on the people that I've known coming.
That's why I'm asking you. Yep.
There's a point where you get in your adult life where you have a job that perfectly fits what your life is expected to be. So you have everything wrapped around bills, everything timed, and every dollar accounted for.
Uh-huh.
Most people don't have that extra to try to pay off their debt.
Yeah.
And they don't want to take the time to find another job and risk going 2 or 3 weeks in a hole without a check and then falling deeper in.
Okay, I can understand that. Okay.
Yeah, so all of their money is just concentrated on staying above water.
I got you. But when you find yourself in a situation where you're just trying to tread water, I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
What about working more? Is that not an option?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will have a job, like I know for a fact that this guy, he worked overtime probably every week for the past 6 months. And then all of a sudden, his job says no more overtime.
Uh-huh.
So he can't do the extra.
Can he work somewhere else? Can he get a job delivering pizzas?
Not with the time he does.
Making hamburgers?
is 11-hour shifts.
11-hour
Yeah,
shifts.
he works from like
Okay.
11 to 10
Wow.
at night.
Yeah.
Or 9 at night. So what shift is going to start you that late?
Yeah.
I mean, there are some. I'm not going to sit there and make excuses.
No. You're not making excuses. I asked for your opinion. That's why I'm asking about it, because I am, I find myself, I guess I'm hopelessly optimistic that more and more people are going to begin to realize that the pressures they feel, so many of them are self-imposed. Because I say this quite often, we buy cars we can't afford, we live in homes we can't afford, we go on trips we can't afford, because we're all trying to keep up with the poser next door, you know? And what I keep hoping is, if enough people keep trying to show folks that there is a better way, maybe we can all together kind of, you know, and I'm not trying to be some kumbaya guy, I don't buy that at all, but I am trying to say there is hope out there for people who find themselves in trouble. And I think sometimes they just don't know there are resources. Like, for instance, Intentional Planning Group. I mean, if you're listening to us right now and you have a problem like this and you're one of those 61-year-olds who thinks that they can never get out of debt, hey, you give us a call, 792-1045 or IPGSC.com. I'm telling you, we can help. I have seen people who have been mired in debt. I mean, up to their eyeballs in debt. We had a fellow on this show, one of the first shows we had early on in this endeavor. He and his wife climbed out of $54,000 worth of debt in just under 2 years. That's just because they got motivated to do so. They were both teachers. They weren't making a bunch of bank. There is hope out there. And this USA Today article, sometimes I think, you know, we put this stuff out there for people to read, and it's only depressing folks more. I just don't understand why people feel so hopeless. And let me just tell you this: if you're, again, feeling hopeless, you call me. I'll get you inspired. I'll get you motivated. We can help. We can absolutely help. Now, I will say, optimism is much higher among younger people, this study found. Only 6% of the 18 to 29-year-olds say they will never get out of debt. Only 6%. Creditcard.com, again, did this survey and says, well, get this, Creditcard.com's vice president of strategic marketing says part of this might be wishful thinking. And then the vice president of Creditcard.com says every age group feels like being debt-free is just around the corner. Let me tell you something, folks. Being debt-free is just around the corner. This guy, maybe I should have held this for my That's a Bunch of Crap segment. You can be debt-free. I have done as much stupid as any human being on this planet with money. I'm telling you, I used to look at stupid every single morning when I got up in the mirror. And then one day I just said, no more. Not doing it anymore. We're going to do things differently. And I can personally attest to the fact that when you take a hold of your finances, you begin to live intentionally, and you don't buy into these lies that our world is trying to make reality, you can get out of debt. You can do it. You might need a little help. You might need a little coaching. You might need a little motivation. You might need a little guidance. We're here for you for that. We're up against another break. You are listening to the Fran Halloran Show on 95.9 FM, 1470 AM.